throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we often say action-packed as always. We are building on the Virgo new moon that occurred on the 23rd of August at 0 degrees Virgo. And there's so much, so we're going to jump in because it's just action-packed, intense, and welcome from around the globe. So let's look at the main energies very quickly. We're looking at double nines, double threes, and remember that trifecta effect that we talked about a few shows back. So these aspects, and we're going to work with hexagram 21, biting through discern, but it's about these the trifecta effect, these triplicates or events that happen in threes. Welcome, Colleen. We're going to work with, now we have the upcoming, it's on the 7th, I believe that's Sunday, is the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. But we're going to get to that next week. We're going to start with Uranus going retrograde, which occurs on the 6th. It's coming up on 3 days, so on September 6th. And when I was looking at the energies, the astrological energies, and as I said at the top of the show, we began with the new moon in Virgo on August 23rd. Then Saturn went retrograde and it left Aries. It's going to now, and we'll work with this, we're going to see how Saturn is now back in Pisces for its final kind of few months, tying up loose ends. Mercury entered Virgo on the 2nd of September, and Uranus goes retrograde on the 6th at 1 degree Gemini. Look at these 0 degrees, 0 degrees, 0 degrees, 1 degree. And then the full moon in Pisces and the lunar eclipse occurs at 15 degrees. Uranus was aspected, it was squaring that new moon in Virgo back on the 23rd. Now, in this chart, where Uranus is retrograde, it's conjunct the midheaven. It's at the top of the chart. So there are big aspects because, again, the unseen said to us, August, autumn, the fall. And the fall both meant a time, like autumn, like a season, but also the fall, when things collapse. And so the energies from the astrological energies are baffled, and then in parens, dazzled by my brilliance. This has to do with Uranus. So in essence, we're baffled by Uranus's brilliance, or we're dazzled by Uranus's brilliance. And Uranus is the higher octave, the higher mind. It's also expect the unexpected. And so we may be baffled and dazzled by events. It's also baffled is also our key word. I'm just going to go to it very quickly in this beautiful image. It's on a black background. It's kind of almost black and white, and this beautiful plume of white feathers. And baffled means totally bewildered or perplexed, puzzled, extremely confused or puzzled, to cause someone to be completely unable to understand or explain something, faced with difficulty or uncertainty about what to say, think, or do. So you get the idea. Uranus is expect the unexpected. This energy was triggered back on August 23rd with that first Virgo new moon. There'll be a second Virgo new moon, which is rare to have two new moons in the same sign. It will be at the anaretic degree of 29 degrees later this month in September. And the beauty of this image with these white plume of feathers was the fact that there's this otherworldliness to it, a purity to it. And so again, which train are you on? Which path are you taking or choosing? Which tree? Which house? That was, again, two houses, two paths, two houses, two trees in reverse order. And so it's This is now playing out. These energies are now playing out. And it takes us to our main theme. Well, before we do that, let me just show you this really quickly, because again, triples. We have 3 sets of double events in the month of September astrologically. On the 1st and 2nd of September, you see the double zero, that they're at the 0 degree mark. Come further down on the 18th and 19th, another set of double zeros at the 0 degree. And then of course on the September 22nd, we have double events at the 0 degree. Just before that, on the 21st of September, is that solar new moon eclipse. And smack dab in the middle here, on the 7th, at 15 degrees, is the upcoming full moon lunar eclipse. We're bringing this up because these energies, this month, eclipse season, that new moon, the second new moon, all of it, Uranus being activated, expect the unexpected. And it takes us into the main theme, because all of these energies are culminating to create a clean slate, starting over on the top, not at the top, on the top. And you see in this image, and it's Eagle Medicine Revisited. And in the image is this eagle sitting atop, on the top. The eagle is the highest flying bird. It's the closest to source. And so there's this aspect about how these energies are creating, these eclipse energies are creating, Uranus is creating a clean slate, starting over on the top. Eagle Medicine Revisited. So think of this, and all of this from the perspective of the soul. We often think that, there's a phrase that says, it's lonely at the top, but that's at the top. This is on the top. So on the top, a clean slate. We're starting over on the top with this Eagle Medicine. It's speaking Eagle Medicine. It's speaking to a higher octave of ourselves. And so let's jump in, because also too, we're working with the mythical Phoenix Rising from 2 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago, the mythical unicorn. All of this crossing the Rubicon, and that once we do this, there's no turning back, there's no coming back, but we wouldn't want to. We don't want to come back to a lower octave of ourselves. We want to reach and experience the highest octave of ourselves. And so let's jump in, because there's so much to get to. We're going to work with Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. Before we do that, this was just when I made the Dearjames Facebook post about back next week. The Unseen spoke about the high octane transformative September 2025 energies. The energies are nothing short of a major metamorphosis, catapulting us all into, quote, the beyond the veil of illusion, beyond the past of who we've been, beyond the lack and limitations holding us back. Beyond, beyond, beyond. And then they said, buckle up, be ready, be open to receive. Oh, and P.S., rest, rest, rest. We're all going to need and want it. So anywhere you can sneak in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour a day, rest. Listen to your body and rest where you can, because again, this is going to catapult us. These energies are going to catapult us beyond what the illusion of where we've been and what we've known. We've spoken about the ostrich. We can't bury our head in the sand anymore. It's coming right at us. And from moonomens.com, on August 23rd, a new moon at 0 degrees, 22 arc minutes. 0 and 22, the most powerful master number of Virgo. So 0 degrees, 22 arc minutes of Virgo occurs, offering us a potent opportunity to revolutionize our reality. Despite not being an eclipse, this new moon opens the eclipse portal as it inaugurates a lunar cycle that will peak on September 7th, coming up with a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. So the moon will be in Pisces, the sun is in Virgo, they're opposite each other, and that's going to create this full moon lunar eclipse. Moreover, on September 21st, we are going to have another, it's the second new moon, and it's a solar eclipse in Virgo happening at 28 degrees, 59 arc minutes of the sign. It's right at the 29 degree, that anaretic degree, so 2 powerful degrees. Eclipse season is approaching, and the current new moon opens a portal to a time of accelerated change, profound personal and collective transformations, and once-in-a-lifetime evolutionary opportunities. It is up to us to make the most of it. This is from moonomens.com. So you can see the intensity of the energies. You can feel them. They began on the 23rd of August with that first Virgo new moon. Now we're smack dab in the middle of it. We're right here getting ready for that first full moon lunar eclipse. And full moons, as you know, on their own, carry intensified energies. Now it's eclipse. It's a full eclipse. And it's going to last. It's one of the longest durations that's coming up. So Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. She speaks about convergence zone. We have a very eventful week ahead of us, with several significant planetary events happening concurrently. The cumulative effect of their energies will no doubt make these days memorable. Here's a brief synopsis. Powerful Pluto has just stepped, quote, out of bounds by declination, intensifying its overall impact on our collective lives. The Unseen gave us 9 items for this week's show, for these energies. The first, and they're broken into 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first one, stepping out of bounds, a proactive act, quantum leaps, no limitations, no boundaries. So these energies are teeing us up to step out of bounds. And stepping out of bounds means, there's what's in the square box, and we move ourselves outside of the square box. We think outside of the box. We're willing, and it's proactive steps. So when the events occur in our lives and we know our discernment, our soul source connection GPS is ding, 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 ding. We know to do something. We know not to do something. We know to go a particular direction. Stepping out of bounds. It's a proactive act. Quantum leaps. No limitations, no boundaries. Number 2 from the Unseen is on the heels of resurrection. That's the Phoenix rising. So on the heels of resurrection, a new you emerges! Exclamation point. So again, what occurs after this month of September? We're not going to be the same person we were before. There's going to be lots of twists and turns and unexpected events and out of bounds energies and actions. And then number 3 from the Unseen, to put these 3 together, is stepping up an octave. I embrace the new me! Exclamation point. So we've got stepping out of bounds, on the heels of resurrection, and then stepping up an octave. Proactive acts, a new you emerges, and I embrace the new me. It's about embracing, surrendering, emptying the vessel, surrendering what was, because there's a whole new you that emerges from these energies. August, autumn, the fall. So continuing on with Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. So powerful Pluto has just stepped out of bounds by declination, intensifying its overall impact on our collective lives. Saturn retrogrades into introspective Pisces on September 1st. Important day, which will come up again, September 1st. The influence of transformational Sedna is heightened as the dwarf planet comes to a standstill on September 2nd. A contentious, opinionated, and impulsive Mars-Jupiter square, squares are frictional aspects, perfects on September 4th, tomorrow. Surprising, Uranus is especially strong as it comes to a standstill on September 5th. And the total lunar eclipse full moon in Pisces reaches totality on September 7th. Just this week alone, there's intensity beyond intensity. So Pluto out of bounds, Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. As the planets in our solar system orbit the sun, they generally follow the plane of the ecliptic, the invisible line that the sun traces as it appears to travel around the Earth. However, as the planets move through space, their actual paths can sometimes be a few degrees above or below the ecliptic. When a planet gets more than 23 degrees, 32 arc minutes north or south of the ecliptic, it is said to be, quote, out of bounds by declination. An out of bounds planet is considered to be, quote, unleashed. It acts as a wild card, and its energies manifest in exaggerated or unexpected ways. So not only do we have this Virgo new moon on the 23rd, triggering, aspecting Uranus, expect the unexpected, but now we've got Pluto out of bounds, unleashed, a wild card. Its energies manifest in exaggerated or unexpected ways. Pluto, the planet that teaches us about the use and abuse of power and takes us through a process of detoxification and regeneration, that phoenix rising, will travel in and out of bounds to the south for the next 10 years, 2025 to 2035. This first foray to the south lasts from September 1st, there's that date again, September 1st, to November 30th, with Pluto being farthest from the ecliptic and therefore most extreme in its expression from October 3rd to October 18th, coming up in about, a month. Saturn's return to Pisces. When a planet's retrograde journey takes it back to the sign it recently left, we can assume that it's going back to complete unfinished business. We've been talking about this, that both Saturn and Neptune are going to regress, retrograde back into the very end degrees of Pisces. Pisces ends the astrological year. It's completing big cycles, and then it formally and officially moves forward in early 2026. And that it's finishing up, tidying up business. After having been in Aries since May 24th of this year, 2025, Saturn returns to Pisces this week and will remain there until February 13th, 2026. Over these next 5 months, Saturn will be asking us to take another look at our spiritual practices to see how they are working for us. It will also call upon us to assess whether we truly walk our spiritual talk. Prior to the show, a few days ago, the Unseen gave me, and there was a Facebook post, it was on social media, and it is our mantra: walk the walk, talk the talk. And so here, Pam Youngins is speaking to this Saturn retrograding. It will call upon us to assess whether we truly walk our spiritual talk. Are we aligning with our soul source connection? Are our actions, our deeds, our thoughts, our words in alignment with our spiritual octave, our highest octave, our soul octave, self? And that's where we've got this window of, 5 months, because Saturn's going to hold us accountable. Because again, once we move into the beyond, all the outer planets moving, formally moving, hasn't happened in eons that all 5 of the outer planets are shifting within a 14, 16-month window. So these are major transformations. It's like putting a period at the end of the sentence or an exclamation point at the end of an era, an octave, and saying, next. So Pam continues, Saturn's lessons always involve a reality check. Do we employ the Piscean ideals of compassion and understanding as a regular part of our daily lives? Or are the words, we are all one, simply concepts that we use so that we can feel spiritual? So in other words, are we paying lip service to something so that we look or act a way, but we're not really truly in alignment with it, so that we quote unquote feel spiritual? And how can we more fully integrate our spiritual beliefs into our practical, real world interactions? It's about walking the walk, talking the talk. Welcome, Olivia. Sedna and Uranus station. When a planet comes to a standstill, whether to go retrograde or to go direct, we usually feel its influence more intensely. This week, both Sedna, the planet of spiritual destiny, and Uranus, the planet of higher consciousness, it's the God mind, and expect the unexpected, station in preparation for the retrograde phases of their orbits. Welcome, Sue. So yes, this is where this intensity. So both of these planets can activate major shifts, both in our physical lives and on the level of consciousness. Sedna tends to require a process of surrender and release. And remember, surrender is the most empowering act you will do. You're surrendering to yourself, to your soul, not to someone else. It's not defeat. It's not waving the white flag in terms of an outside source or energy. This is surrender to the soul. This is surrendering to your higher octave. And thereby, Sedna requires the process of surrender and release, while Uranus can manifest as a sudden or surprising changes that require flexibility and a higher perspective. So we want to not have our face pressed up against the glass during this time, and we don't want to quickly judge or quickly react. It's proactive. Stepping out of bounds, it's a proactive act, not reactive, proactive. We respond, we don't react. We allow. Let me see, oh, something came unexpectedly. Well, it's always for us, so don't rush to judgment. Respond. Then we have, from Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, she's speaking about Mars-Jupiter square. Adding an extra layer of complication this week is the frictional square between Mars in Libra and Jupiter in Cancer, which perfects on September 4th. This aspect represents a clash of principles, beliefs, and morals. So again, it's where the rubber meets the road. Which is the train? What train? What path? Is my house built on stone or sand? Is my tree of bearing good fruit, beautiful fruit, or rotten, poisonous fruit? It's where the rubber meets the road. And lastly, Pam Youngin speaks about total lunar eclipse. The full moon on September 7th will be accompanied by a total lunar eclipse. The lunation perfects at 11:08 on Pacific time, when the moon is at 15 degrees, 22 arc minutes. There's that. 15, hexagram 15 is about authenticity, humility, authenticity. 22 arc minutes, the most powerful master number. So it's when the moon is at 15 degrees, 22 arc minutes, Pisces, and the sun is at the same degree of Virgo. This is the longest total lunar eclipse since 2022. Totality will last for about 1 hour and 22 minutes. New beginnings. 1, the creative force, new beginnings. Proactive, 22 minutes. So it's not only at 15 degrees, 22 arc minutes, but it's also going to last. The moon will be eclipsed for 1 hour, 22 minutes. You're getting the idea here. I hope that everyone's tracking that this is powerful energy, powerful movement, powerful. It's like the Etch-a-Sketch, a clean slate. It's like the game. You shake everything on the Etch-a-Sketch to clean the slate so that we begin to create the creative force. We begin to, from a place of humility, grace, authenticity, we create a clean slate starting over on the top. Eclipses, especially total eclipses, are times of profound change. Significant events that alter the course of history can occur. On a personal level, we may experience completions, clearings, and course corrections. Where have we been in alignment? Where are we out of alignment? Where are we holding back? Where are we hiding our light? Where are we being reluctant? Where are we downright just plain dirty? Well, completions, clearings, course corrections. Happenings during eclipse season often feel fated in some way. Aspects to the lunation provide insights into its lessons and what we may expect. Mercury's opposition to the moon indicates that we will need to balance intuition with logic to successfully navigate any challenges. So this is about discernment, surrender, listening to your soul source connection, that intuition. Marry the two. What do I know? That's intuition. What's my knowing? And then what is my Mercury, my ego, mind, personality, human, and how I integrate them, how I get the creative force, ego, mind, personality, human, in alignment and working with and for intuition, soul. Because to Pam Youngin's point, it's where we need to balance intuition with logic to successfully navigate these energies this month. With Venus quincux the moon, it's a 150-degree aspect in astrology. Relationships built on a rescuer-victim dynamic will likely go through a period of adjustment. So if you're playing the victim, if you're interacting with someone that's playing the victim, or you're playing the rescuer, only I can save you, or this dynamic, this Venus quincux the moon, because the moon reveals. Venus is the divine feminine. It's the intuition. It's the warm goo on the inside. Well, this relationship's built on a rescuer-victim dynamic will likely go through a period of adjustment. One would say the unseen is saying refinement, like the temperance card. We got to put the raw iron into the forge, and they pound it and pound it and pound it, and all the impurities fall away, and then what is left is the highest purity of that metal. This is what we're talking about. She concludes, on a positive note, Jupiter's trine to the moon indicates we can tap into a sense of hope and optimism. However, with Pluto semi-square the moon, it's another frictional aspect, we are likely to observe or to experience power struggles and manipulations. So if you find yourself battling yourself, is ego, mind, personality, human battling soul source connection, your soul? Be aware, be conscious. Are you externally battling with others? Be mindful of why. Because we could potentially observe and experience power struggles and manipulations. But again, when one party fails to engage, when they just say no more, no, then the air is let out of the tire. It's only when two people continue to yell and scream and keep raising their voices and keep upping the energy and the ante, that the power struggles, the manipulations, the obstacles continue, and they get greater. But the minute somebody just recedes, walks away, says no more, it deflates these energies. The other people, we have no responsibility to other people. They may continue on being angry and hostile and manipulative and all of this, but that's a them thing, not a you thing. So be mindful of how you engage your energies, because it's number 4, 5, and 6 from the unseen. They said, picture perfect you, soul you, exclamation point. Picture perfect means lacking in defects or flaws. It's ideal. It's number 4, it's foundational. In all the Sabian symbols, there's many Sabian symbols in this Uranus chart, this retrograde Uranus chart, that are all 4th degree charts, or 4th degree symbols. Well, this is speaking to the fact that this Uranus going retrograde and these energies are foundational. They are going to they're going to shake, rattle, and roll. They're going to reform our foundations. So that picture perfect you, this lacking in defects or flaws, the ideal you comes to the fore. And they said, surrender, let go. And then it brought me to the actual song, Let It Go. One of the Sabian symbols is literally let go. I'm going to just give you the lyrics from Let It Go from Frozen. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen or king. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. So this is speaking again to where are we cleaning the slate? What are we letting go of? Because there's been fear. There's been, to the lyrics, don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl or boy you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. And it's about let it go, let it go. And so, and with that, the Sabian symbol, because again, you can't intricately tie these things together if you tried. It's the symbol for Venus, the Sabian symbol. This is Dane Rudyard, an astrological mandala. A human soul seeking opportunities for outward manifestation. The yearning for self-actualization. Behind the many rhythms and drives of individual existence, beyond the child, the adult, and the old man or woman, stands the soul, seeking always to manifest itself through the personality, ego, mind, personality, human. This is the transpersonal urge of the spirit, of the soul, expressing itself in many ways during the whole lifespan. But most avenues are blocked, and the soul waits until it can wait no longer. Then comes the dramatic release, which may mean a joyous carnival or madness. This is the Star, the Hermit, Temperance, the Forge, and the Tower. This is all leading to Tower moments. And like the Sabian symbol, then comes, because the soul waits until it can wait no longer, then comes the dramatic release, which may mean a joyous carnival. So the Tower can be a joyous event, or madness. It can be a cosmic 2x4 that comes. This fourth stage sequence brings a transcendental clue to the technique of living. Let the soul speak out. Here the unseen is saying, picture perfect you, soul you, surrender, let go, let it go. Let the soul speak out. Allow the power of the true tone of your being to manifest itself smoothly, easily, unobstructed, or expect a variety of consequences. Let the soul manifest. So this is a massive change. This is going from the creative force, divine masculine, patriarchal era to matriarchal, Aquarian, we the people, the soul, and thereby let the soul manifest, let the soul speak out, let the soul lead. And it's the symbol for Venus. Venus represents the divine feminine. And so it's the mandates or the requests are clear. Number 5 from the unseen, boundless, confined no longer, no more. Unlimited. Boundless means unlimited or immense. And then, so there, again, it's number 5, it's about change. So the unseen is speaking about, they're reminding us about how boundless, how unlimited, confined no longer, no more, the soul is. We humans, we box ourselves in. We place ourselves in the cell with the door wide open. You know, it's all the masks, the identities, the labels, the scripts, the stories, these truths, all of this manufactured stuff. But the soul, which limits us, we think it expands us, but it doesn't. It's the exact opposite. The soul is limitless, boundless. And so in that unlimited, it then brought up the lyrics to the song Defying Gravity from Wicked. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. You know, once the bell's been rung, you can't unring the bell. It's time to trust my instincts, my knowing, my intuition, my soul. Close my eyes and leap. Quantum leaps, no limitations, no boundaries. Boundless, confined no longer, no more. And then this beautiful, they end the song with unlimited. Together, we're unlimited. So think about this from the perspective of yourself and your soul, yourself and source, yourself and God, Allah, Buddha, the all that is, however you identify. Think of it in that term first, unlimited. Together, we're unlimited. It can also extend to partnerships, whether they be platonic or business or romantic. Together, we're unlimited. Together, we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. Dreams the way we plan them, when we work in tandem. There's no fight we cannot win. Just you and I defying gravity. With you and I defying gravity. They'll never bring us down. So this aspect of when we connect to our soul, when we lead with our soul, when we are one with our soul source connection, our boundless nature, we're unlimited. We're immense. And lastly, number 6 from the unseen was the mystical, magical, abound. And then I heard hop on the something express, and it kept coming like something express. And then I had the image of Harry Potter. And it was like, so I, Googled, searched, and up comes Hogwarts Express. Well, the interesting, fascinating thing where you cannot make this up if you tried is the aspect that in the Harry Potter series in the films, so the unseen said the mystical, magical abound. Hop on the Hogwarts Express. And then they said, all aboard. And we've been using a train analogy for the last few years now on the weekly Wisdom and Insights journey. The Hogwarts Express only runs, or typically only runs, on September 1st and June 1st. The beginning of school season, the culmination of school season. It came to run at times during Christmas to transport the children back and forth from Hogwarts. But again, here's this September 1st. So August, autumn, the fall, and look how intricately tied all of these energies are to what's happening. It's number 6. The mystical, magical abound. Hop on the Hogwarts Express, all aboard, September 1st. All of these aspects astrologically that are tied to September 1st. There's so much here that's mystical and magical. So let's now move to Astrology by Lauren. And she says she's writing about chaos. And Sue is just saying, yes, that is exactly what I am learning, that the actions of the manipulative is theirs, not mine. Exactly. And we get to choose whether we engage or not. Again, to walk away doesn't mean that you're surrendering or you're less than. You're the one that's most empowered. When you de-escalate, when you step back from your face mashed up against the glass, and you can see a greater, broader picture, then we give ourselves that empowered ability to recognize what's mine, what's someone else's. And I don't have to engage with what belongs to someone else. That's theirs. So when I stop engaging, yes, they might get louder or more angry or whatever because you're not feeding the beast. But rest assured, at some point, you're walking a path that is less traveled. And it's open to you, to where you're going, to the energies that you interact with, and to what you receive, what you bring and attract and magnetize into your life. So Astrology by Lauren, Chaos. She begins with a quote by Edward Lorenz on chaos theory. When a butterfly flutters its wings in one part of the world, it can eventually cause a hurricane in another. There are many reasons for this unknowability, this changeability, this edginess, and for some of us, even chaos. The planets are all changing signs, renaming, rebirthing, reassigning. Pluto is going out of bounds for about a decade. Jupiter is not only tangled up with Uranus, but Mars and Mercury are coming there as well, just to make things even messier. Now, Astrology by Lauren, she's speaking because these are frictional aspects and so forth, and big heavy hitter energies. And then Mercury, how we think and communicate and talk, and then Mars, the creative force, it's the divine masculineness, all come into the party. And she continues, and now we are entering eclipse season. The problem with Pluto going out of bounds is that it stays there for a long time. It officially steps over the 23 degrees south, 27 arc minute threshold on August 31st, dipping below the celestial tropic of Capricorn and into an out of bounds territory. The areas beyond the ecliptic, beyond the bounds of the sun's path, is seen as Wild West territory, where the usual rules and strictures do not apply. Pluto is beyond the control of his Lord Liege, the Sun, and is left to his own devices. And it will remain in this territory for a full 10 years. The last time Pluto was out of bounds was from 1938 through 1953. And it will not be out of bounds again in our lifetimes. So once again, you see all the major planets shifting signs. I mean, like a Swiss clock, all happening within 14, 16 months. It's unheard of. Then these beautiful harmonic, the trines and the sextiles that are going on, but also the oppositions and the squares that are creating friction, because out of friction, out of chaos, comes clarity, calm. And thereby, this will not happen again. So now Pluto's going to be out of bounds for this 10 years. It happened the last time, 1938 to 1953. It won't happen again in our lifetimes. These, Astrology by Lauren, these out-of-bounds Plutonic periods can be rife with destruction and the abuse of power. Or they can be extremely transformational periods of rebirth and renewal. The mythical phoenix rising, the likes of which we have never seen before. Pluto out of bounds is power unleashed. So again, it comes back to what's at your center. Which path, which tree, which house, which train. Because the Piscean patriarchal I, me, and the corrupted, the height of the corruptedness of the divine masculine, that train's coming to an end. It's come into the station. It goes nowhere. It ends. Cross the platform, and we've had this many times. You've got the golden ticket. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. New adventures await. You've got the golden ticket. There's the golden ticket train. One could say it's the Hogwarts Express that takes you to another realm, another world where the mystical, magical abounds. But you have to choose it. Because you're choosing the path. You're choosing the fruits, your fruits. What are you putting out? And you're choosing whether your house is built on sand or stone. It's foundational. Astrology by Lauren continues, but perhaps the most insidious aspect this week had to do with that Jupiter-Uranus aspect that was intercepting the recent new moon. She's talking about the new moon from August 23rd. So there was a Jupiter-Uranus aspect that was intercepting this new moon. Crazy, unpredictable, and lawless unto itself. Jupiter-Uranus transits can be about freedom. This is beautiful Columbia, liberty, freedom, justice. This boundless, confined no longer, no more, unlimited, or immense. This soul self that is present, being liberated. So this can mean, it can be about freedom. They can be about an exciting new vision just over there on the horizon. A clean slate starting over on the top. The unseen is saying the opportunity for us to start on the top is present. It's available to us. Are we choosing it? Astrology by Lauren continues, or it can be about an abundance of unpredictable events occurring one after another, with almost no rhyme or reason. That is the star, because it's coming from a higher octave. This is destined. This is fate and destiny and higher octave. So it's the star, the hermit, temperance, and the tower. So it can be an abundance of unpredictable events occurring one after another, with almost no rhyme or reason. It does not help that Mercury and Mars are joining the fray this week. When the inner planets, Mercury and Mars, join an outstanding planetary picture, it brings it all home into our personal lives. Because Mercury, Mars, Venus, the moon, the sun, they are interpersonal planets. They affect our daily lives. They affect us personally. The heavy hitters, the Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and I'm forgetting one. They're the outer personal planets. They're the heavy hitters, the major arcana. They affect the whole of the whole. All do, but the point is they affect our trajectory, where we're going. So when the inner planets, Mercury and Mars, join an outstanding planetary picture, it brings it all home into our own personal lives. Mercury has to do with our everyday activities, our schedules, our daily routines, our communications and transportation. On Tuesday, when Mercury comes home to its sign of Virgo, it also makes an exact square, that's a frictional aspect, to volatile and disruptive Uranus, turning our lives upside down and inside out. All Mercury and Virgo wants to do is create order out of chaos and make sense of the insensible. We're all going to have our hands full. When we speak of herding cats or shoveling snow in a snowstorm, it's this kind of weather we are talking about. Mars has to do with will and volition. It's the creative force. Already restrained in the sign of Libra, a sign usually associated with peace and diplomacy, it usually pretends to be somewhat behaved. But simultaneously with the Mercury transits, Mars will make an exact square, exact frictional aspect to Jupiter this week, while sesquiquadrate Uranus. And any kind of aspect between Mars and Uranus is bound to be erratic and sketchy. Again, there are higher octaves of this, and there are shadow aspects of this. It's going to depend on how we're each individually acting, how are those that are in leadership roles acting, as to what we may bear witness to and experience. And Astrology by Lauren concludes, if you know how to juggle and swim with the tide, you should be able to maneuver around any gremlins, mishaps, and unexpected surprises. However, even the most adept jugglers can be challenged with these, especially as we are now approaching the September eclipses. Strap on those seatbelts, everyone. We're going to need them. This is high octane, transformational, metamorphosis type energy. And how it changes us individually and collectively is to be experienced. Not to be determined, because we determine based on our choices and our actions, our words, our deeds. We're choosing. So I would implore everyone to choose the right terrain, choose the right path, choose the right tree, choose the right house, choose your soul. Allow your soul to lead, because it will lead you to a place that continues. Where we've been is ending. It's over. We've been there, done that. Now we move on to Eagle Medicine Revisited, and this is by Jess Hagen of Urban Healers of LA from her Spirit Animal blog. Eagle Medicine. The eagle spirit animal totem represents inspiration. Eagle, with her penetrating cosmic gaze, sees beyond the confusion and darkness of the world to the eternal light that connects everything. Eagle pierces the illusion, pierces the veil, sees through the minutia, the BS, the dogma. And it really brings us to this, it's number 7 from the unseen, the ultimate level up arrives, because it's the eagle medicine, it's the eagle spirit totem. This medicine is the messenger for the spirit world, which is to say the energy of life beyond the physical dimension. The eagle is the highest flying animal in the sky. No other animal travels closer to the greater cosmos beyond Earth's atmosphere than this majestic being. For this reason, eagle medicine is a powerful connection to the Great Spirit, or the great mystery of all creation. There are many words for God, and all of them are only the smallest fraction of a description of the unified event/being of all that is creation. Eagle medicine brings inspiration and purpose to all our endeavors on earth, because it connects us with the infinite source of light. Eagle knows that in the greater cosmos, all is connected by a bond of love, which is light. Eagle knows all is always well. So again, when we connect, when we just envision eagle medicine, or find a beautiful picture of an eagle, print it out, place it around your environment, your home, your car, because it's reminding you to connect to your soul, to this highest octave, to this spirit animal that is the sole being that flies that high in the animal world. And so this ultimate level up arrives. Number 8 from the unseen is proactive versus reactive, clarity or calm versus chaos, fate versus destiny. And they said the nature of change. So this is the nature of change. We're in it. We're in the thick of it. And the unseen is saying the nature of change. Choose. Select one. You get to select one path. You get to select one tree. You get to select one house. You get to select the soul or your ego. It's the nature of change. Choose. Select one. You don't get to, multiple choice and multiple, because it's really that clear. Am I choosing my soul? Am I choosing the unseen? Am I choosing my soul source connection? Am I choosing this higher octave of myself? Or am I choosing original intelligence? Or am I choosing something that is a byproduct, a derivative, artificial, less than? You can select one. And number 9 from the unseen was the power of surrender, ... choice. See, there's a power in surrender. There's a power in surrendering to your soul, to this higher octave, to the new, to what's beyond what you know. Because it's all choice. So eagle medicine, Just Hagen with eagle medicine. When eagle lands in your life, a new gust of inspired energy is on the way. Say yes to the winds of change and trust that they will lift you up to higher ground. A clean slate starting over on the top. Eagle is the passionate spirit energy that makes life magnificent. The wonder and awe of life is her gift and invitation. There is no end to how good things can get. Eagle teaches us to build our nest high and reach for the stars. It's the star card. Reach for the stars. It's wish fulfillment. Things at a distance, but they're being brought to us. Eagle's vision will find the big love connecting us all, even in the seemingly darkest confusion here on Earth. Eagle soars as high as needed to bring down the light. This medicine knows that it is not possible to hide light. Wherever you try to hide light, it will be lit up by the power of an eternal grace. If you are struggling through a confusing or painful time, call on Eagle to lift you away from darkness up to higher ground, where the view is wide and clear. This medicine knows the way up and out of any dilemma and has infinite strength to go the distance and reach the heights needed. Her medicine is an inspiration, a gust of wind that brings the energy to lift you out of a lower struggle. Eagle says, don't wait for God to inspire you. Start somewhere and find the spirit in the seemingly mundane. It reminds me of Wallace D. Wattles and, small acts in great ways. It simply means take the step, align, begin, surrender, follow, be led. But it's following the way. It's following the soul, not the ego, mind, personality, human. When Eagle arrives, it is time to drop the mental analysis and the caution and go where the wind lifts you. Shapeshift into the courage of Eagle. She is the thunderclap, the strike of lightning, the cosmic spark of new life in a seed or an egg. And so are you. Eagle medicine is the experience of eliminating mental doubt as well as emotional insecurity so that thoughts and feelings align into silent perfection. Silent perfection's intuitive. It's knowing. Your soul knows where you're to go, what you're to do, what you're not to do. And so it's about align this into silent perfection. In native teachings, eagle medicine is of the highest vibrational frequency of all animal medicines. Along with buffalo, she provides over all sacred ceremonies. Her feather medicine cannot be used for harmful negative purposes. When in the presence of eagle medicine, any selfish plots or intrigues unfold into a greater good for all involved, meaning that from this illicitness, it's upended and greatness, goodness prevails. When the eagle spirit animal totem is out of balance in our lives, we may be resisting our true calling. We may have decided to take everything at face value without any spark of mystery. Are you settling for the safe and reliable at the expense of finding your greater gifts and powers? It is only a matter of time before eagle lands to reveal to you some new aspect of the greater reality. The eagle totem asks that we not get stuck in the illusions of solid matter in the 3D. Newtonian science solved mystery after mystery, answering question after technical question with accurate and measurable proof. But it never solved the mystery of the isness of life. That is a silent space within us all, and eagle is inviting you in. There are many things that science has proven or disproven. Equally so, there are multitudes of things that occur that are demonstrated from quote-unquote the unseen that science has yet to be able to prove or disprove, and yet they exist. So this is again that beautiful, blessed are those who believe but do not see. It's recognizing that other things exist at a higher octave beyond the 3D of what's tangible or proven. And yet they're occurring, they happen in our daily lives, they happen in our collective world, in the cosmos. Just because science can't prove or disprove it doesn't mean it's not real or doesn't exist. Perhaps, I say perhaps, it resides at a higher octave. And then we in the 3D are catching up, rising up to meet it and greet it. We're going to continue or close with hexagram 21. It's known as biting through. Its action is discern. So this is where discernment and intuition that Pam Youngan's North Point Journal was speaking about. Intuition and discernment to navigate these energies. Its hidden influence is obstruction, innovate. Its underlining cause is the well, inspire. Oftentimes we feel, and this is from Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com, oftentimes we feel that life is unfair. However, when we look at the natural world, there is nothing resembling justice. Nature merely evens out its extremes or removes blockages to achieve balance, and this truth will eventually come to light in the situations that we face. We are a part of nature. If you have attached yourself to illusions of right and wrong that block your forward progress, biting through will dispel the illusion, because this is about clearing the slate. This is high octane metamorphosis energy that's coming to wipe the slate clean, clear away illusion, delusion, what's been hidden. Biting through will dispel the illusion. Unless growth is in the equation, life tends to reorganize by breaking things down. So when they become stagnant, it just breaks everything down. It naturally clears the way. Ideas that foster separateness or boundaries, blocking renewal or union, need to be chewed over or presented through experience until the illusion is transformed into clarity. Because number 5, boundless, confined no longer, no more, unlimited or immense. The soul is unlimited, immense. The soul is taking over. It was the Sabian symbol. The soul waits until it can wait no longer. Then it just takes over. And how? We're either in the flow of that, you're on the right train, you're in the flow, you're being proactive, or you're on the wrong train, wrong path, wrong everything, and it's the cosmic 2x4. It's the Tower card. So, and whatever you have to do, it will keep happening until it's transformed into clarity. The well as an underlining cause can suggest living too much in the inner world, leading to a time for you to debut, whether or not you are ready. So if you've been contemplating things, mulling things over in your head, it can be a move, it can be a relationship, it can be reaching out to someone, it can be whatever it may be. It's going to be this, you can create a false sense of reality and believe all is well. The well as an underlying cause can suggest living too much in the inner world, too much in your head, and it's time for your debut, whether you're ready or not, because these eclipse energies and this August, autumn, the fall, and these double new moons and the trifecta effect, all of this is occurring. Ready or not, here it is, here it comes. Obstruction as the hidden influence shows that any blockage will come down. Discernment is how the truth has to be given careful consideration, even if you'd rather not face it. It's about facing things head on and just, surrendering to yourself, to your soul. The focus on the mouth in this hexagram encourages clear communication. If there is something to be said to another, then speak up. And this brings us to our first quote. When it is real, it will endure, and truth spoken is the only cure. There are no, you can't fake your way. It's got to be authentic. It's got to be true. So when it is real, it will endure, and truth spoken is the only cure. It means that when you speak from your heart, from your authenticity, you will receive that coming back to you. It will be received. When you're inauthentic, that will be felt, and walls will be put up because people are, there's an exchange, and people don't have to receive someone else's inauthenticity or BS. It also brings us to our second and third quote. Balance and truth are nature's only reality. It's about balance and truth, which creates harmony, which is at the center of love. So balance and truth are nature's only reality. And our third quote, real success should be a win-win situation for all. And notice all these orbs, full moons in the images of the quotes, because we're building up to, it's going to happen on Sunday on the 7th. Next week on Weekly Wisdom and Insights on the 10th of September, we're going to cover, or begin to cover, I should say, the eclipses and the energies with them. So real success should be a win-win situation for all. It's a reminder that winning shouldn't be at someone else's expense. There can be win-wins. There can be things that we can do something where everyone is seen and respected. Yes, somebody may prevail, but it's how we prevail. It's how we, quote unquote, lose that creates energy that ripples outward. There's a choice here. We always have a choice. And this aspect, I just want to conclude with this aspect of win-win. It's the other Sabian symbol, and it has to do with the sun. And it's an aristocratic family tree, a deep reliance upon the ancestral roots of individual character. And this Sabian symbol, Dane Rudyard and Astrological Mandala, it says it characterizes the means for true success. So real success should be a win-win for all. This Sabian symbol for the sun, it characterizes the means for true success. One returns to the roots to produce the flowering of personality. When this flower is to bring forth a living seed, root power is essential to seed achievement. Root power is going back to source, going back to your soul, going back to original intelligence. So we are speaking here, there's a lot packed into this episode because it's just high octane energies and this metamorphosis of change. So bear good fruit, choose the path less traveled, build your home on a foundation of stone, and know that this moment in time and these high octane energies will transform you. It's just a matter of how. And how is meaning, what are you choosing? Are you in the flow and in alignment with it, in harmony with it? Or out of alignment, in disharmony and so forth, and it's a cosmic 2x4. It's up to you. Proactive versus reactive, clarity and calm versus chaos, fate versus destiny, the nature of change. Choose, select one. So until next week, love you all. Thank you all for being here, for your comments, and for your energy and your presence along this journey. And we will see what the unseen and the astrological energies and certain the eclipse energies have in store for us next. Until then, be well, be good to yourself, and be good to others.
You've been listening to Dear James Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting DearJames.com.